Day 9 of our Everyday with Jesus devotion. Receive mercy, give mercy. Having mercy on others is right at the heart of Jesus' teaching. In Matthew chapter 5, verse 44 to 45, Jesus taught us to love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you, that you may be children of your Father in heaven. Love is more than showing mercy, but mercy is an essential part of love. Jesus gives 3 reasons in this passage of why you should be merciful towards others, particularly those who have wronged you. Firstly, to have mercy on your enemies is to imitate your Father in heaven, that you may be children of your Father in heaven, verse 45. God's mercy extends to those who are hostile to Him. He causes His sun to rise on the evil and the good and sends rain on the righteous and the unrighteous, verse 45. Secondly, to have mercy like this marks you out from the world. If you love those who love you, what reward will you get? Are not even the tax collectors doing that? We tend only to love people who like us or who are like us, but you are called to be different. Number 3, there is a connection between forgiving and receiving forgiveness. We cannot receive God's mercy ourselves and then show no mercy to others. We do not earn forgiveness by forgiving others, but Jesus says that our forgiveness of others is essential to receiving the forgiveness from God. You can't get forgiveness from God, for instance, without also forgiving others. If you refuse to do your part, you cut yourself off from doing God's part. Matthew chapter 6, verse 14 and 15. Daily receive mercy and forgiveness, and daily give mercy and forgive others. Jesus also explains how you can express this mercy practically in what you do. He highlights the importance of prayer. He tells you to pray for those who persecute you. Matthew chapter 5, verse 44. Praying for your enemies helps you to see them as God sees them. In prayer, you stand side by side with them, take on their guilt and distress on yourself, and to plead to God on their behalf. The theme of mercy is also at the heart of the Lord's Prayer. Forgive us our debts as we also have forgiven our debtors. Matthew chapter 6, verse 12. And finally, mercy should be at the heart of our giving. Generosity is a form of having mercy on others. When you help someone out, don't think about how it looks. Just do it quietly and unobtrusively. That is the way your God, who conceived you in love, working behind the scenes, helps you out. Verse 3 and 4. Reflection. Who can you show mercy to today? Take time now to pray for your enemies. You have heard that it is said, love your neighbor and hate your enemy. But I tell you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you, that you may be children of your Father in heaven. He causes His sun to rise on the evil and the good, and sends rain on the righteous and the unrighteous. Matthew chapter 5, verse 43 to 45. But when you give to the needy, do not let your left hand know what your right hand is doing, so that your giving may be in secret. Then your Father who sees what is done in secret will reward you. Matthew chapter 6, verses 3 to 4.